So, the story of the tortoise and the hare often gets oversimplified. Ask any child what the moral of the story is, and likely they're going to say something like, don't rush or go slow. However, the whole point of the story actually has nothing to do with speed. Tortoise didn't win the race because he was slow, nor is there anything wrong with working fast when needed. He won the race because he was steady. My story for today, however, is not the tortoise and the hare. See, in ancient Gaelic and Russian traditions, the old hag or Baba Yaga over time became the slow, wise turtle. So we're gonna backtrack to the tale of the weaver and the crow. Actually, in some traditions, technically the crow is a dog, but we're gonna make it a crow today because I like dogs and because a freaking crow pooped on my yoga mat this week. So there! So, there once was a cave where an old woman lived, unaffected by the rush of time and the confusion of daily life. She spent all her days in the cave weaving. See, she wanted to fashion the most beautiful garment in the whole world and had been working at her weaving project for all of time. She used only porcupine quill because she knew the wisdom in using a tool that could poke you as part of the unfolding of beauty. After so many years of biting down hard on the quills, her teeth had become worn down to nubs. But still, the old woman kept at her weaving project, biting down and weaving, biting down and weaving. The only time that she ever interrupted her work was to go to stir the soup that had simmered in a great cauldron at the back of the cave. The cauldron hung over a fire that had begun at the dawn of time. No one could remember a time when the fire didn't exist. She had to stir the soup that simmered over those flames because that simmering stew contained the seeds and the roots of all that was and all that would ever be. If she failed to stir the ancient stew, the fire would scorch the ingredients, and all of existence would be in jeopardy. So, the woman lived like that, shuffling across the floor, making her way back and forth. But at the entrance of the cave, there was a black crow, always seemingly asleep, until the weaver would turn her attention to the soup at the back of the cave. As soon as she would tend to the soup, the crow would quickly fly to her weaving, pick up the brightest and most beautiful thread, and begin to pull and unravel her creation. So, as the ancient stew was tended to, the beautiful garment all fell apart. And when the woman returned to find nothing but chaos where there had just been beauty, she would sit and look at the remnants of her weaving, ignore the presence of the crow at the foot of the cave, pick up a loose thread that had caught her eye, and begin again. And as she pulled thread after thread from chaos and imagined her aspiration to create the most beautiful garment in the world, soon she forgot the old weaving ever existed at all because she was caught up in the rapture of her new sacred work. This fable, holding the tension between our obligations and our passions, reminds us that when everything falls apart, there's always a new way to imagine the world and our place in it. So, when you feel like giving up, friends, just bite down on that porcupine quill, keep weaving.
My spirit animal, not yours.
And fuck that crow.
Really?